Alex had never imagined that a simple research trip could turn into something extraordinary. The planet Zephora stretched endlessly before him, a vibrant world of glowing forests and sparkling rivers. Its sky shimmered with faint hues of green and gold, painting everything in soft, otherworldly light. Though he had seen images of alien worlds before, nothing compared to standing here in person. He adjusted his pack and stepped carefully along the smooth, bioluminescent pathway that wound through the alien city. The city itself was a marvel. Towering structures of crystal-like material reflected the colors of the sky, and bridges curved gracefully above cascading waterfalls. Alien beings walked among the streets, moving with elegance and intelligence. Their forms were slender, almost ethereal, and their skin shimmered faintly with colors that seemed to change with their emotions. Alex had studied their language and customs extensively, but being here in person was still overwhelming. He could feel the quiet power of the society, a civilization that valued wisdom, art, and knowledge above all else. As he wandered, Alex noticed movement in the corner of his eye. A small figure was approaching him, skipping lightly over the pathway as if it were dancing. It was a child no older than 7 with luminous eyes that glowed softly like amber lanterns. She had hair that seemed to float around her head, moving in rhythm with her tiny, excited steps. Her expression was both serious and playful, a combination that made Alex feel instantly curious. The child stopped a few feet away and looked up at him. She tilted her head slightly, studying him with an intensity that made Alex swallow nervously. Before he could speak, she smiled and said something in clear, surprisingly human-like words. "Father." Alex froze. He stared at her, certain he must have misheard. The word echoed in his mind like a bell, impossible and yet undeniable. "Father?" he repeated slowly, his voice careful. I'm sorry, but I'm not your father." The girl's eyes narrowed in confusion, but she didn't look angry. Instead, she took a small step closer. "You are," she insisted. "I know you are. You are father." Alex shook his head. He tried to make sense of what was happening. This was no ordinary alien child. She had called him father with certainty, without hesitation, without fear. The word felt like it carried a weight beyond her years. "I promise," he said gently. "I'm not your father. I don't even know you." At that moment, a ripple of movement passed through the crowd nearby. Beings who had been walking, talking, and observing the city stopped and turned toward Alex and the girl. They whispered among themselves, voices soft but urgent. Alex felt their eyes on him, a mix of curiosity, concern, and awe. Then a taller figure appeared, moving with a regal, almost ceremonial grace. Her presence seemed to command attention without effort. She was the alien queen, Zira. Her skin glowed with a soft silver hue, and her eyes were deep pools of wisdom that seemed to see right through Alex. Her long, flowing robes shimmered with patterns that shifted subtly like liquid light. She stopped a few steps away from him, her gaze fixed on the child. "Lyria," she said, her voice smooth and commanding. "Why do you call him father?" Alex felt his stomach twist. The child, Lyria, looked up at the queen and repeated the word with a calm certainty. "He is father. I know him. He is my father." The queen's expression shifted quickly from curiosity to shock. Her eyes widened slightly and she took a step closer to Alex, studying him carefully. "Explain yourself," she demanded. "Why is my daughter calling you father?" Alex opened his mouth to respond but paused. What could he possibly say that would make sense? He had no idea why this child believed he was her father. He had never seen her before in his life, yet the intensity of her belief and the queen's focused attention made it clear that this was no ordinary misunderstanding. I don't know," he admitted finally. "I have never met her before and I am not her father. I am a human from Earth. My name is Alex. I am a scientist and a linguist. I think there might be some kind of connection, but I cannot explain it." The queen studied him silently. Her expression was unreadable, but Alex could sense a spark of curiosity in her eyes. She looked down at her daughter, who seemed entirely unconcerned by the confusion. Lyria's small hands rested gently on her chest as she repeated softly, "He is my father. I know him." Alex took a cautious step closer to the girl. "Lyria," he said gently, "do you remember anything? Any reason you think I'm your father?" The girl tilted her head and thought for a moment. Then she spoke, her voice calm and deliberate. "You taught me about the stars. You told me about Earth. You held my hand when the lights were too bright. You saved me from being lost. You are my father. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. She was describing memories he had never lived. The words were precise, intimate, and impossible for a stranger to know. He looked at Zyra, whose eyes now held a mixture of fear, awe, and deep curiosity. This is impossible, the Queen said finally, her voice softening. No human has ever been here before. None of our records show this connection. How could you be linked to my daughter? Alex shook his head, his mind racing. He had studied alien culture for years, but nothing in his research had prepared him for this moment. He realized that he needed to act carefully. This was not only about understanding the child, it was also about respecting the culture of a civilization far older and more advanced than his own. I don't know the answer, he said quietly, but I want to understand. Please do allow me to help. I will not harm your daughter. I will not interfere. I only want to learn why she feels this way. The Queen's gaze lingered on him as if measuring the sincerity in his words. After a long moment, she nodded slightly. Very well. You may accompany us. But understand this, if you misstep, if you disrespect our customs, it will not be forgiven. Alex nodded solemnly. I understand. Thank you. Lyria took his hand without hesitation. Her grip was small but surprisingly firm, and Alex felt a strange warmth at the contact. As they walked together through the city, he could see the way other aliens watched them. Whispers followed their path, expressions of intrigue and fascination on every face. They arrived at a grand structure in the heart of the city. It was taller and more magnificent than any other building Alex had seen, its surface reflecting the sky like liquid glass. Inside, the walls glowed softly with embedded crystals, and holographic images floated in the air, showing the history of Zephora. The room felt alive, humming with energy and knowledge. The Queen gestured for Alex to sit. You will see for yourself, she said. Perhaps our archives hold the answers. But understand, human, this is not merely a record of our people. It is sacred knowledge. Treat it with respect. Alex nodded, awe striking him once again. He had expected to see alien technology, perhaps some historical artifacts, but this was beyond anything he could have imagined. Holographic images of past events, ancestors, and long-lost civilizations floated around them. Alex realized that the history of Zephora was vast, intricate, and carefully preserved. And somewhere within it might lie the secret of why Lyria had called him father. As they explored, Lyria ran ahead, pointing at different images and speaking to Alex in her soft, melodic language. Somehow he could understand her perfectly. It was as if her words carried a resonance that transcended normal communication. She pointed at a figure in one hologram, a child who looked remarkably like her. You see, she said, this is me. You are always with me. Alex felt his heart swell. The child's certainty, her belief, and her connection to him were undeniable, even if he could not explain it. He turned to the Queen, who observed silently, her expression still a mixture of skepticism and wonder. You must understand, Alex said carefully. I do not claim to be her father in the human sense. But there is a bond, a connection that we need to explore. I promise to be careful, and I promise to respect your culture. The Queen studied him for a long time, then finally spoke. Very well. You may accompany Lyria and me as we explore the archives. But remember this, every step you take must honor the balance of our world. Lyria is precious to us, and you are now a guest in our lives. Alex nodded again, feeling both nervous and honored. He had come to Zephora to study alien language and culture, but he had stumbled into something far greater. This was not just a scientific journey. It was a journey of the heart, of connection, and of understanding a bond that crossed worlds. As they moved deeper into the archives, Alex felt Lyria's small hand tighten around his. Her eyes sparkled with trust and curiosity, and for the first time he realized the depth of human empathy. No matter the mystery, no matter the questions, he would face them. For Lyria, for the Queen, and for the possibility that humans could inspire and connect with life beyond Earth in ways no one had imagined. The first part of the journey had begun, and Alex knew that the answers they sought would challenge everything he thought he knew about family, connection, and the universe itself. The halls of the archive stretched endlessly, glowing with a soft, gentle light. Alex walked carefully beside Lyria, whose small hand still held his. Every step brought them deeper into the history of Zephora, and Alex felt a mixture of awe and curiosity. The walls shimmered with images and symbols, holographic records of events spanning thousands of years. He had never seen technology like this, knowledge preserved in ways that seemed almost alive. The queen, Zira, led them to a large chamber at the center of the archive. Here the holograms floated in layers, creating a three-dimensional map of her civilization. Images of past leaders, scholars, and explorers moved gracefully in the air. The soft hum of the archive made it feel almost like the heart of Zifir itself was pulsing around them. "This is where we preserve the essence of our history," Zira explained. "Everything we have learned, every discovery, every moment is recorded here." And yet, her eyes softened as she looked at Lyria. "Even we do not fully understand the bond you claim, child. That is why you are here, Alex. Perhaps your human perspective will shed light on it." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. He had come to study language and culture, but this was far beyond simple research. He was standing in a place where knowledge, memory, and connection intertwined. And somehow, Lyria's recognition of him as her father was part of this intricate puzzle. Lyria moved forward, pointing to a floating image. "Look," she said, her voice filled with excitement. The image was of a lush green field, but in the center stood a small, glowing figure, herself. Beside her was a taller figure, human in shape, though blurred and hazy. She turned to Alex. "This is us. You are always with me." Alex leaned closer, studying the hologram. His heart thumped in his chest. The figure did resemble him, though the hologram was abstract, as if the archive had captured not just physical likeness, but essence. I don't know how this is possible," he whispered. "But it seems to be some record of you two together." Zira watched him closely, her expression unreadable. "That is why I questioned you," she said softly. "No human has ever been here, yet the archive shows you. How can it be?" Alex took a deep breath. "On Earth, we have ideas about memory, DNA, and connection. Perhaps somehow Lyria's presence was recorded in a way that links to me. Maybe it is a bond, a recognition across time or space. I don't fully understand, but I want to learn." The queen nodded. "Then we will explore together." She gestured to a platform in the center of the chamber. As Alex stepped onto it, holographic symbols surrounded him, shimmering in colors that shifted like water. He felt a strange warmth, as if the archive itself was aware of him, reacting to his presence. Lyria climbed beside him, her small hand clutching his tightly. "Don't be afraid," she said softly. "It will show us," the archive responded. Images shifted, revealing patterns Alex could barely comprehend. He saw maps of stars, sequences of symbols, and even snapshots of human history from Earth, something that should have been impossible. The connection between human and Zephyran life was clearer than ever. He realized the archive was showing them more than history. It was showing them relationships, bonds, and influences. "This is remarkable," Alex said quietly. "It's as if our two species were always meant to meet." Zira's eyes softened. "Our people have long speculated that other intelligent life exists in the universe, but we have never predicted this kind of connection. And yet here it is, undeniable." Lyria clapped her hands lightly and a new hologram appeared. This one was of her as a young child standing alone in a glowing field. She reached out to the figure beside her, a figure that now looked exactly like Alex. "See," she said, "you were always with me. You taught me, helped me, guided me. You are my father." Alex knelt down to meet her gaze. "Lyria, I promise I will figure this out. I don't fully understand it yet, but I will. I want to know how we are connected." Zira's expression softened even more. She approached them, her hands resting lightly on her daughter's shoulders. "Perhaps," she said thoughtfully, "the bond is not of blood alone. Perhaps it is something deeper, something that transcends species." Alex looked at her, surprised. "You mean something like a soul connection?" The queen nodded. "In our culture, we believe that certain bonds can form across lifetimes, across forms of life. A guardian may be chosen by fate, not by birth. Perhaps that is what has happened here." The thought filled Alex with wonder. He had read about the idea of spiritual bonds on Earth, but he had never encountered proof, especially not with an alien civilization. And yet, looking at Lyria, seeing the trust and certainty in her eyes, he understood that this was real. For the next several hours, they explored more records. Alex discovered that Zyphora had long sent messages into space, encoded not just with information but with DNA patterns and memories, hoping to connect with other life forms. Somehow Earth had been part of that plan, even if unintentionally. Lyria's bond with Alex was the result of this rare cosmic connection, a link between human and alien life that no one had anticipated. "Alex," Lyria said suddenly, her eyes wide with excitement. "Look at this one." She pointed to a hologram showing a small seed glowing in golden light. As Alex watched, the seed opened to reveal a miniature version of a glowing forest, alive with tiny creatures and shimmering energy. "You planted this," she said. "You made it grow," Alex frowned. I don't remember planting a seed like that." Lyria shook her head. "You did. In my dreams. You showed me how. You taught me the stars and I followed you. You are always with me." Alex felt a lump in his throat. The child's certainty, her memory, and her trust were overwhelming. He realized that family could be more than biology. It could be guidance, care, and understanding. And somehow in the vast universe, humans had a way of creating bonds that could cross worlds. Zira watched silently, a soft smile on her lips. "Perhaps we have underestimated the power of your species," she said quietly. "Humans, they are remarkable." Alex blinked, surprised. "You mean humans are special?" The Queen nodded. "Yes, you have the ability to understand, to connect, to teach, to inspire. Even across species, even across worlds. Perhaps that is why Lyria recognizes you as her father." The words filled Alex with a sense of pride and humility. He had always known that humans were capable of great things, but this was different. Here, in the heart of an alien civilization, his species' compassion and intelligence were shining through, building trust and connection where none had existed before. They continued their exploration late into Zyphora's day. Alex learned about the culture's values: creativity, patience, respect, and curiosity. He shared stories of Earth, of human families, schools, and friendships. Zira listened with interest, her eyes reflecting the soft light of the holograms. Lyria giggled at some of Alex's stories, her joy lighting up the chamber. By the end of the day, Alex felt closer to both Lyria and Zira than he had to anyone else in his life. He had come to Zyphora as a visitor, a student of alien language and culture. But now he was part of something much larger. He was a guardian, a teacher, a friend, and perhaps even something like a father. As they left the archive, the alien sky turned a deep shade of violet, and the twin moons began to rise, casting gentle light over the city. Lyria skipped ahead, her energy infectious, while Zira walked beside Alex, her expression thoughtful. "You have done well today," she said softly. "You approach the bond with care and respect. That is rare, even among humans. You may not understand everything yet, but your heart is in the right place." Alex felt warmth spread through him. "Thank you, Your Majesty. I will continue to learn. I want to understand Lyria, and I want to honor this connection." The Queen nodded, her gaze turning to her daughter. "This bond is unprecedented, but perhaps it is a gift. You will help us explore it, learn from it, and grow together. And in time, perhaps the universe will understand that humans have a role to play far beyond their own worlds." Lyria ran to Alex and hugged his leg, her small arms tight around him. "Father," she whispered, "we will find the answers together." Alex knelt and embraced her gently. The warmth of her trust, the certainty in her eyes, and the quiet acceptance of the Queen filled him with a profound sense of purpose. He realized that this journey was not just about understanding alien culture or discovering a mystery. It was about connection, about love and trust that transcended species, worlds, and expectations. As they walked back through the glowing city, Alex looked up at the twin moons shining like lanterns in the violet sky. Somewhere far across the galaxy, threads of fate had brought a human and an alien child together, and in that moment, Alex knew that the universe had a way of creating bonds stronger than the distance between stars. The journey to understand Lyria's words, her memories, and their mysterious connection had only just begun, but Alex felt ready. With patience, curiosity, and care, he could explore this bond and help both species learn that family, trust, and love were universal languages, even across worlds. And somewhere deep inside, he realized something extraordinary. Perhaps humans were special, not because of power or strength, but because of their ability to connect, inspire, and care, a truth that could touch the stars themselves. The next morning on Zephora began with soft golden light spilling over the horizon. The city's crystal towers caught the glow and shimmered like rivers of glass. Gentle songs filled the air, voices of alien citizens greeting the new day in their melodic language. Alex stood on the balcony of the guest quarters given to him by Queen Zira. The world still felt like a dream. Everything was peaceful, almost sacred, and he could still hardly believe he was part of it. Lyria came running from the hallway, her laughter bright and echoing. "Father," she called happily, "you have to see the gardens today. They're glowing brighter than before." Alex smiled as she reached him. "Good morning, Lyria. You seem very excited." "Yes. The flowers open only when the moons fade. Mother said it is a sign of harmony." "You have to come," she said, grabbing his hand eagerly. Before Alex could answer, Zira appeared in the doorway. Her presence was calm and regal, but her eyes were kind. "Let her guide you," she said softly. "The gardens hold answers today. The archive system responded last night to the connection you shared. It has revealed new data, and the garden's light marks the beginning of a new discovery." Alex followed Lyria and the Queen through the corridors. The path opened into a vast garden surrounded by shimmering crystal domes. Each plant glowed with its own color, silver leaves, golden petals, and vines that sparkled softly as they swayed. It felt like walking inside a dream. The air smelled sweet and alive. In the center of the garden was a circular pool of clear, shining water. Holographic symbols floated above it, moving gently like clouds. Zira gestured for Alex to come closer. "This is the heart pool," she explained. "It connects to the core of the archive. It is where memories and energies meet." Lyria knelt beside the water, her reflection glowing faintly. "It's singing," she whispered. Alex knelt beside her, listening carefully. He could hear something faint, like a soft hum, almost musical. "What does it mean?" he asked. Zira placed her hands above the pool and the symbols began to shift. "It means the bond is alive," she said. "The archive has recognized you both. It wants to show us more." The water rippled and images began to appear within it. Alex saw stars, galaxies, and then Earth itself, blue and bright, floating in space. The image shifted again, showing Zephora, glowing in its green and gold hues. Slowly, thin strands of light began to connect both worlds, weaving a web between them. "What is this?" Alex whispered. "This," Zira said softly, "is the network of shared energy between life forms. All living things emit signals, patterns of emotion, memory, and thought. Your species, Alex, sends signals stronger than most. Humans are driven by curiosity, empathy, and hope. That energy travels farther than you realize." Alex watched in awe. "You mean humans send emotional energy through space?" Zira nodded. "Yes. Your desire to explore, to connect, to understand, it reaches beyond your world. Perhaps that is how our archive found you. It felt your presence before you even arrived, and Lyria, being sensitive to these energies, recognized it." Lyria looked up at him, her eyes glowing softly. "That's why I knew you," she said. "Before you came, I could feel you in my dreams. I heard your voice teaching me words I didn't know. I didn't understand them then, but now I do." Alex felt a deep emotion rise in his chest. He had come to Zephora as a scientist, but standing here hearing this, he realized that his bond with Lyria wasn't a coincidence. It was something natural, something born from the connection between two worlds. "Your people," Zira continued, "once sent signals into space, music, voices, greetings. But what they did not know was that emotions themselves can travel too. When humans dream of peace, of friendship, of reaching others, those dreams touch the cosmos. Perhaps one of those dreams reached Lyria." Alex smiled softly. "So, humanity's hope connected us?" "Exactly," Zira said. "That is what makes your species special. You do not always need technology to connect. You use emotion, compassion, and will. That is a form of strength few species understand." Lyria giggled and dipped her fingers in the glowing water. "So we are family because of a dream," she said with pride. Alex chuckled. "Maybe so, little one. A dream that crossed the stars." The Queen smiled. "A beautiful explanation. In our world, family is more than blood. It is shared understanding, trust, and love. I believe you have shown us that truth in a way no scholar ever could." They stood together in silence for a moment, watching the light of the garden dance across the pool. Alex felt calm, more than he had in years. The endless noise of Earth, the race for progress, the pressure of discovery, all of it felt far away. Here there was peace and purpose. Later that day, Zira invited Alex to a ceremonial hall where the Council of Elders awaited. The hall was circular and filled with faint golden mist. At its center, a crystal orb floated, pulsing softly like a heartbeat. The elders were tall, graceful beings, each wearing robes of pale light. They studied Alex with curiosity but without hostility. Zira addressed them in her melodic voice. "This is Alex of Earth," she said. "He has formed a rare connection with my daughter Lyria. The archives confirm a shared energy bond that links our worlds. I bring him before you so that we may learn and honor this connection." An elder with blue-toned skin and wise eyes spoke. "A bond across worlds," he said. "It has not been seen since the age of the star bridges. Perhaps this is a sign that our people and humans are meant to walk the same path." Another elder turned to Alex. "Human, what do you seek from us?" Alex took a deep breath. "I seek only understanding," he said honestly. "I came here to study your culture and language, but I found something greater. A connection that proves life everywhere shares the same heart. I want to learn from you, and I want humanity to learn too. We can grow together." The elders exchanged thoughtful glances. Finally, the blue-toned elder nodded. "Then we shall honor this bond. The child will not be questioned further, and you, Alex, will be named guardian friend of Zifora, a bridge between our species. You will carry our message of unity back to Earth when the time comes." Zira's eyes softened with pride. Lyria jumped with joy, clapping her hands. "He will stay with us too, right, Mother?" she asked eagerly. Zira smiled. "For a while, yes. There is still much for him to learn." After the ceremony, they returned to the palace balcony. The city lights glowed softly below, and the stars above shimmered like diamonds scattered on velvet. Alex stood beside the queen, feeling both humbled and inspired. "You have given us hope," Zira said quietly. "For a long time our people believed they were alone in the galaxy's wisdom. But your presence has reminded us that understanding and emotion are not unique to one world. They are shared." Alex smiled. "And your people have given me the same gift. I used to think science was everything. That logic explained the universe. But now I know that sometimes the heart explains more than equations ever could." Lyria came to stand between them, looking up at the stars. "Do you think other worlds can feel us too?" she asked softly. "Yes," Alex said, resting a hand on her shoulder. "If they listen closely enough, they can." That night, a celebration was held in the great square. The citizens of Zifora gathered, singing songs that glowed in the air as patterns of color. Alex was given a robe woven with threads of light, a symbol of unity. The queen gave a short speech, her voice carrying gently across the city. "Tonight," she said, "we celebrate connection. The meeting of hearts from two distant worlds. Let this remind us that peace is not built by power, but by understanding." As the songs filled the air, Lyria danced among the glowing lights, her laughter echoing like music. Alex watched her, feeling an overwhelming sense of joy. She was more than a symbol. She was proof that the universe itself could connect beings through love and empathy. Later, when the crowd had quieted and the lights began to fade, Lyria stood beside Alex and looked up at him. "Father," she said softly, "will you ever leave?" Alex knelt beside her. "Someday I may have to go back to Earth," he said gently. "But even then I will never be far. Our bond is not made of distance, it's made of feeling. You will always be able to feel me here." He touched her chest lightly. "In your heart." Lyria smiled, her eyes glowing like tiny stars. "Then I will never be alone." "No," Alex said softly, smiling back. "You never will." As the moons rose high above Zifora, Alex, Lyria, and Zira stood together gazing into the sky. The stars seemed to shimmer brighter than before, as if acknowledging the unity they had formed. Two worlds, so different, yet connected by something simple and pure. Alex knew he would eventually return to Earth, but he also knew that the story of Zifora and its people would stay with him forever. He would carry their wisdom home, share it with his own kind, and remind humanity that connection and compassion were their greatest strengths. For now, though he simply stood there with the queen and her daughter, feeling at peace, the mystery that had begun with a single question, "Why is my daughter calling you father?" had turned into something far greater. It had become a story of unity, a story that proved that even across galaxies the human heart could reach out, be understood, and be loved in return. and as the gentle winds of Zephora whispered through the glowing gardens, Alex smiled. The universe was vast and full of wonder, but now it also felt like home.